this is David B69. Welcome to today's video. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and hit the notification bell for future videos. Let's get on to the show. Hey everybody, this is David B69. Hope everybody is doing fine today. I am having a good day because I know this week we're going to have some goodness coming into this house. I got some PlayStation 2 games arriving later this week, and I also have, hopefully, a Video Games Monthly arriving Friday, Saturday-ish. If it doesn't arrive Friday, Saturday, then it will be next Monday, and then I have a great start for next week and stuff to show. So it should be really good. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching this way in the future, sorry man, you're not watching it like as soon as I post. What can I do? Anyways, this week's video, we're gonna go over my Sega Saturn collection. This is what is in my Sega Saturn collection as of today, near the end of May 2023. I don't have that many titles for the Sega Saturn, but of what I have, me personally, these are my go-to games. There's like only one game that I owned back on the Sega Saturn that I don't own today, and that's Nights into Dreams. I do want to get that back. I do want to get that controller back. I'm just looking for the right deal. So I'm just kind of like just playing and basically waiting and around and seeing what kind of deal I can get. It's getting harder and harder, so it is it's a toughie. But let's go over the stuff that I do have. First off, we have NBA Live 97. Now the great thing here is these were the last EA Sport games to be on Sega consoles. You remember Dreamcast? They didn't have this stuff. Here's FIFA 97. Yeah, Dreamcast didn't have the EA logos and EA games on it, so kind of missed out. Here's FIFA 96. And these are all complete, by the way. Don't have any like halvesies or whatever. Here is Andretti Racing. NBA Action. With Marv Albert. Here is NASCAR 98. It's a good racing game. Here is Madden 97. Honestly, between Madden 97 and Madden 98 on the Sega Saturn, it's really tough for me. Here's Command and Conquer on the Sega Saturn. Now, I am a huge, and I mean huge, Command and Conquer fan. And I have played so much of this game, and it doesn't get old. I mean, I can go into skirmishes and I can play this thing like non-stop. It's so much fun. Here is bottom of the 9th from Konami. So it was cool. It had you can do the season tracking and saves and stuff. It was a very solid game. Here is Frank Thomas Big Hurt Baseball. Now this is a top-notch game. If you're into racing games of any type, Sega Rally on the Saturn is top-notch. That is my popular opinion, unpopular opinion. I could care less. I love that. Here is Worldwide Soccer in '98. I think it's Colby Jones. Yeah. It is a really, it's a very much a solid game. Here's Worldwide Soccer. This was great and everything. Sega made some like really solid sports titles. It's kind of why they wanted to perform that move and stuff and make sure that EA did not have sport games on the Dreamcast, because they felt that their games were like really that good. Like here's Daytona USA. You put the graphics on how Daytona USA looked against NASCAR. I mean, yeah, Daytona is much more arcadey, but I mean, it looks better than NASCAR ever did. That's my opinion. Here's another top-notch game, Virtual Fighter 2. I love me some Virtual Fighter 2. Here's Kobe in NBA Action '98. Yeah, this is when they started the stats and keep the stat tracking going. Here is World Series Baseball 2, which was also like a very much tremendous thing. Yeah, they had all 28 ballparks at the time. There was only 28 teams back then. But yeah, they had all of them fully rendered, and World Series Baseball 2 was really good. Here is the original World Series Baseball on the Saturn. Don't get confused. This is not comparing it to the World Series Baseball on the Sega Genesis. It had the whole thing. It had the teams, but yeah, they had some of the ballparks. They didn't have all of them. And next up, we got VR Soccer. The VR games are absolutely tremendous. They're not better than the Sega or the Sega games or the EA games, but they're like really solid. Here's Virtual Open Tennis. Same thing with this. It's a fun tennis game, but would I call it one of the top-notch tennis games? Not really. Here is PGA Tour 97. It's like, one of the things that they did back then is they pretty much captured the actual golfer on video, and then they pretty much put him into the game, which was really cool. But at the same time, you're kind of like mixing in the graphic in the 32-bit, and then you have a pixelated real-life character. You would have been better to have the whole thing animated. It would have made more sense, and it would look better, in my opinion. But so they had 14 featured PGA Tour pros, but there was 58 overall. So, and I had a few courses and such, but like I said, I really enjoyed PGA Tour 97. It's a really solid golf game. But again, because there's not too many courses, it basically gets repetitive after a while. Here is NHL 97. Oh, I love myself. The hockey games on Sega were basically, to me, the best. Here's All-Star Hockey 98. Now, if you wanted a more arcadey mode hockey sim game, this is the one you want to go with. They did a really good job at making an arcade type sports game. I mean, they tried to make it as real life as possible, but to me, it looked and felt more arcadey to me. Maybe you disagree. There's comments below. Fill up the comments. Tell me what you think of these games. I have my opinions. Like here is NHL All-Star Hockey. And to me, it's like I know that Sega Sports paid Marv Albert out the wazoo to be in some of their games. But Marv Albert doing hockey, to me, never felt right. I mean, I know Marv Albert more for his basketball than doing hockey. But that's okay. Here is NFL 97. Now this was the Sega's answer. This is what eventually, over time, it went from, what was it, Montana to, yeah, it was Montana to the NFL series, and this is the NFL series, and then it finally became 2K. Yeah. So, NFL 97, solid title. Now, if you were going to go for a Madden 98 title, now, here's where it gets a lot controversial. You wanted to say you want to play Madden 98, I'll point you to Sega Saturn. A lot of people will say the PlayStation one was a little bit better. I kind of like this guy better. Because it was my original. It was my go-to. I didn't get a PlayStation right away. I had a PlayStation at the time, 98, but I still leaned toward the Sega Saturn. Why? I don't know. I just still had the Sega Saturn. I still enjoyed my Sega Saturn, and I enjoyed my Madden on Saturn. I mean, eventually it moved, but I was more on the side of Sega. Here is NHL 98. Now what happened was, well, because the whole thing with Dreamcast and EA not moving to it, I basically had a PlayStation because my friends, they had a PlayStation. So we basically moved the memory card from their house to my house, and from my house to somebody else's house, and we would be playing these seasons, and it ran out of making any sense anymore because the Saturn didn't have that. I didn't have that capability from taking a memory card from one guy's house to another guy's house. We all owned the game. It just didn't make sense to do that anymore once we could do that memory card movement, and you can play in a group, and then basically you can just gather on a weekend and we just all go at it, and we'd have head-to-head matchups, and it was a blast back then. It was so much fun. Whenever we did get together, I mean, it was a great time. Here is NBA Live 98. Now, I like NBA Live a lot. I was never a huge fan of the Live series, but it's like I definitely enjoyed it. Here's FIFA Road to the World Cup 98. Yeah. This is probably this is definitely the deepest of soccer games for that time period. I mean, there's like 170 some teams. That's like absolutely insane. Here is the game Bug. If you don't know Bug, I mean, it's like a platformer at that time. Like, think non-Sonic, but a platformer. It's a solid game. Here is World Cup Golf. Here is Pebble Beach Golf Links. Midway's Arcade Hits and Greatest Hits. Arcade's Greatest Hits. Has Bubbles, Defender 2, Robotron 2084, which is a go-to for me. Defender, Joust, and the game Sinistar. I had the Sinistar up in an arcade at the top of my hill, so whenever I wanted to play it, I would just go there and I would spend hours playing Sinistar. That was a really, really great time. Here's the Mansion of Hidden Souls. Definitely an interesting game. It's not my genre of expertise. I forgot when I got this. I think I got this back in the, might have been Double Jump or something that I got this game. Or I might have just picked up this randomly. I forget. It's a fun game, but it's not something that really just gets me and hooks me into the game. Here is NFL Quarterback Club 97. It's a solid football sim. It's not going to be from Sega, and it's not a Sega game, and it's not an NFL, and it's not a Madden game, so it's kind of hard to grab you. Some of the third-party some of the other stuff, the mini games and stuff, they're kind of cool. Here's Robotica. Now this game is a lot of fun. This is just a wild game. Now, if you're in for full motion video experience, this is like the most ultimate like video motion experience that you can get. You get it as a quarterback, and you basically have to make your choices based off the video that you're being fed. And you have to make the right decisions, and if you don't like your decisions, well, guess what? you got a good old buddy Mike Ditka yelling at you to tell you that you're doing it wrong. So it's like really cool. Here's NFL Quarterback Club 96. Here's another third-party, interesting hockey game, but it's not like a top-notch one. It's one of the things I liked back in the day at NHL Power Play 96. I mean, it looks good, but it's not the same as the EA Sports, or even the Sega one is better than that. Here's 3D Baseball. I think the 3D Baseball game, I don't know if it's this one or it's on PlayStation. Like, really, like, got crazy in price. I have no idea why it's so expensive. Here is the original Daytona USA. Here is the Ultimate World Series Baseball, World Series Baseball 98. Yeah, they created a new engine, 30 ballparks. They really did a really good job with this game. It's hard to say if I like this one better or 97. I probably would lean to the 97, but it's with it having 30 teams, it kind of makes more sense to play 98. But I don't know if I'd ever go back and play a full-length season. Here is All-Star Baseball 97. Oh my goodness. I said this in the last video about the stickers. This sticker has been here for like ever. I've had this game for so long. Thankfully I was able to get the sticker off. But yeah. But I love John Miller calling the game. It gives that kind of realism to it. So, and yeah, their 97 version, they included the Devil Rays and the Diamondbacks as the new expansion teams into the league. Well, this case is busted. Okay, that sets it in. Gotta do something to fix that case. And finally, our last game that we have is Slam and Jam 96. This is another one with a sticker on it. And there we go. Because nobody wants to look at a sticker. The problem with this game isn't the actual basketball itself. It just needed more work. I mean, it's a solid game, but it needed more. It needed more time. It needed more effort. So that's Slam and Jam with Magic and Kareem. So what did you think? What is your top out of the bunch? I'm going to go World Series Baseball 98. It's like probably my go-to. If I was going to say a close second, I'm going to go Command and Conquer, because that's just the kind of gamer I am. If I'm not into baseball or football or other sports, I'm going to lean to that. I didn't have any role-playing games for the Sega Saturn. I know they exist, but at the prices they are currently charging for them, there's no chance that I'm getting one of them because they're just way too darn expensive. If you know of a cheap way of getting some of those games, it's like, just send me a link or send me something, because I have not seen a good RPG that I can play on my Saturn. But that's okay. I don't mind. I have plenty of RPGs that I still haven't played and I still haven't finished yet. Am I looking to complete a Saturn collection? Probably not, but I do enjoy collecting for it. I do enjoy having the games that I have and playing and replaying these games. They're a lot of fun. So I would highly recommend the Sega Saturn if you were just into playing games and just wanted to goof off and play some games and have some fun. Plus, it's really fun couch co-op if you were into that, because I mean, that was that era. That era, you wanted to play couch co-op a lot, so that was what we did. So anyways, until next time, I hope you all have a great day, have a fantastic week, and until next time, this is David B69, and I'm out. Peace. Take care, everybody.